Hey guys, Banana Lock here and welcome back to another Watcher of Realms video. So today we're gonna be talking about Immortal Codex. We wanna talk about, this is possibly one of my favorite Immortal Codex because it's the one where it's the Arbiter of Frost, aka Boreas. And we finally get to bird this guy, which has been causing us lots of suffering in Arena if you're not a Boreas owner. But anyways, I say this is gonna be my favorite because I think that I already have the perfect lineup for this. It is very obvious for this lineup which heroes are the best. It's mostly heroes coming from the Nightmare faction, and the only debuff that the Nightmare faction does not have is Poison. But why are debuffs important? Let's take a look at the boss and his kit, and you guys will get it. So the Arbiter of Frost has extremely high defense, magic resistance, damage reduction, but also takes increased continuous damage. So continuous damage is gonna come from some of the sources that you're gonna see below, and he'll periodically generate cryo cores, which Commander must shatter in a given period of time. This is similar to the Styx Codex, but in Styx Codex, Zealous does that one swipe that kills everyone, but this guy gets stronger over time, and you must also make sure that the damage that you deal is continuous damage. If not, you won't be able to break through that core. So heroes like Silas is just not gonna work very well here. And then when the cryo cores are shattered, Arbiter of Frost will enter a weakened state, taking further continuous damage, amplifying whatever your lineup has already done. And if they are left intact, the cryo cores continue to crystallize, deal heavy damage while also increasing his attack, and eventually causing your team to die. So yeah, you'll be strategic, you pick targets with single target continuous damage, and yeah, you'll have a significant upper hand in battle. So these are the list of heroes. I think there are some very questionable ones like Lucia, Vienna, Morrigan, Assault, Orim, like come on. Queen Fiend, also I'm not sure why he's here. But let's talk about the heroes, by category of what they inflict, and then it makes more sense. So these heroes all deal burning. Obviously, not all burns are equal, even in terms of duration. So I'll just show that to you guys very quickly. Every hero that does burning, they don't do it for the same duration. So, whoops, I accidentally tapped out. So you can see Arrogance here. Arrogance inflicts burning on the target when he's in his range form. And how long does that burning last for? 7 seconds. And it's all going to be 20% continuous magic damage. Last does burning as well with a bond skill, but that's only going to be 5 seconds, and it's only during her ultimate. So caveat there, only during her ultimate. And then you have Abomination, burning only lasting for 2 seconds. So the worst one, but also the most accessible one that everyone can possibly get. And then there's Wrath. I think burning is on his A3, and how long does it last? 5 seconds, not too bad. So if you were to ask me, Wrath over Abomination for sure. But if you don't have any of those other heroes that I just mentioned, then Wrath and Abomination might just do fine in your instance. So that's the reason why I say not all burns are equal. Obviously, from that very particular run through that we just did, the one that does the best amount of burning is actually from Arrogance in that category. I don't have a 9, so I know that she does multiple instances of burning. I do have Hex, but problem with these two heroes is that they are not from the Nightmare faction. And why do I want a Nightmare faction? Because if you notice, Arrogance does burning, is a Nightmare. And then we have Salazar, also Nightmare, does bleed, which is important. Even if you don't have them, Vladov, Komodo also does bleed, also from the Nightmare faction. So I'm hoping you guys start to see the picture here. And I think the most meta comms that people are actually using are Valeria, as well as Deimos. Reason being that those folks do single target damage, and they also inflict some form of debuffs upon the hero, which makes them take more damage. So Valeria has her over here, Plunging Slash, dealing invulnerability to physical damage. And then we have Deimos, which does basic attack that deals damage equals to 2% of his own HP. I'm not sure if this is reduced, but seems that lots of people are running him. And same thing, he's tearing. This does give defense signal when at full stacks. And then the tearing cap also maxes out to 7 at A3, and this guy just seems to be a staple. And I think it makes sense because this guy was a staple in Nightmare comps if you're running sticks as well. So yeah, I think that's the reason why Nightmare comps sound so good in theory. You're gonna have Arrogance, Salazar, Torador, and then Deimos, and what's the last guy that I forgot? 1, 2, 3, oh, Valeria, 4, 5. And then to top it off, you're gonna, dust it off with Poison Hero, which we're gonna talk about next. And once again, not all Poison Heroes are made equal, we'll talk about that. So, 4 guys that everyone probably has. Nassault, I'm gonna say from the upfront, don't bother building him because it's not gonna inflict as much poison as this for folk. And let's take a look at these heroes in detail. I'm just gonna say it from here, Cube is the best. So in terms of rage cap of ultimate and all, Cube is the best when it comes to inflicting poison. And how should you build him? Because you don't really rely on his basic attack. You should build him the way that I built my Mari, which I'm gonna show first. Maximum attack speed, maximum rage regen, and as much HP as you can, just to make sure he survives. And where is our dear Cube? He is right over here. And the reason why he's the best is that his ultimate has the lowest rage cap, 200. And he does poison with his ultimate. And then he also does it with his basic attack. 30% chance to inflict poison, lasting for 4 seconds, which is why you want to stack as much attack speed on him as possible. And then you're gonna look at the other heroes. They're not gonna come close. Liam doesn't do any poison with basic attack, only during his ultimate. Rage cap is at 300. And the reason why people use him for Gear Rate 3 is because his poison is multi-target. Then we have this guy. Does he do poison? No, Ramnose doesn't do. I think it's Scriff and Carter. So let's see. That's Carter. Same thing, 30% chance to inflict poison. But the problem is that this guy has his rage cap at 300 instead of 200, which I think makes a lot of difference. And also I think the ultimate duration is different. This is just a one-off attack. Let's see if we have... Is this Ramnose Carter? No, it's the same guy. I don't think I have the other guy. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the other guy. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense that obviously Cube is the best one to go for. Just for the fact that, his rage cap is the lowest amongst all, and his basic attack has a passive 30% chance to inflict poison, which is very important here because you need all sources of burns and poisons, and you want them stacking up to the max as much as possible, because that's what you use to damage the boss and also to take down his cryo cores. And then bleed heroes, obviously, I think bleed application wise, I believe Komodo is the best if you have everyone at A0, legendary wise. If not, if you have Salazar at A1 or A3, it's going to be the best for you. And then Lugaro and Saga, I'm not so familiar, but I think if you don't have Salazar, they could probably work equally as well. But I think the most reliable one would be Komodo, but you'll be lacking in damage. So might be better off going with this too. And then they also put Radiant Erosion heroes in. I'm not very sure why, because Alistair doesn't do Radiant Erosion on normal hits, only during his ultimate. Talon does Radiant Erosion only if he's attacking a block target, so I'm not sure if standing in front of Boreas is considered a block target, because if it works the same way as Zilitu, then it might work out. And then we have Praetors, who's nuts, but I mean, come on, let's be honest. How many people are going to have Praetors? So if you ask me, I'm going to go into the Conqueror Codex now, because this is the only place where we can showcase lineups. with 6 heroes. I'm gonna show you what's ideal. So where was it? What I'll personally pick is Valeria, Arrogance, Salazar, and then last but not least, where is our poor Deimos? Don't have him geared so yet. So we're the back. And then we're gonna have Cute as well. Let's find that guy. Right over here. So this is gonna be the perfect lineup in my opinion. But if you don't have Valeria, you're gonna swap her with other forms of single target damage. Which at this moment, all I can think of is like Abomination. And maybe swap Larsen. I think these are not ideal, but it works. Wrath as well. You just want to make sure that you have some instances of burning, but at the moment, Arrogance does the best burning. And then you're gonna have Salazar, which can be replaced by Komodo, replaced by Vladov. But I think those are, not the best in terms of overall damage output. And then Deimos with his passive as well as the defense ignore. And then Cube because he does the best amount of poison. So of course all this is in theory. I haven't got to test it out because obviously that Codex is actually slated to be the last one. So it's going to be a while before it comes out. But overall, before we get started, this is who I think the best lineup is going to be. And yeah, that's going to be it for the video, guys. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, feel free to leave a like or subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out a lot. And also, comment down if you have any questions below, any comms that you might be thinking, you want to ask whether it works. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video, and good luck for the Codex. Goodbye.